Hey friends, today's reading is all about tarot for entrepreneurs. So we're going to find out what is next for your business. Today's reading is all for the visionaries, the creatives, and the go-getters out there. If you've been wondering what's next for your business, then this one is for you. If you would like to check out my podcast or my online shop, check out the links in the description. At the time of this reading, I am running a 50% off sale. I am doing a closing sale for my online e-commerce shop, so feel free to check out the links in the description if you feel called. I have a bunch of different crystals and a bunch of different jewelry. And now, if you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with the clear quartz crystal. We have pile 2 here with the Lapis Lazuli crystal. We have pile 3 here with the rose quartz crystal. And then we have pile 4 here with the flower agate crystal. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video and find the timestamp that is linked to your pile so you can skip ahead to your reading all about answering the question, what's next for your business? Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I will see you on the other side. Hey pile 1, hey friends, welcome to your reading. So let's first go over your entrepreneurial archetype. And let's dive into your current role or vibe and what kind of business that you run. This will also help you to confirm that this is your pile, and if it's not, you might want to check out another pile. Okay, so what is your entrepreneurial archetype, right? Who are you and where are you at? So pile 1, the first card that we have here is the 5 of Pentacles. With the 5 of Pentacles, maybe you're currently in a phase of scarcity or challenge or perceived lack. I feel like this is the card that reflects feeling like you're on the outside, right? So maybe some of you here feel like you're struggling with resources or finances, or maybe some of you here aren't feeling fully supported by your network or your industry. There could be an emotional toll here too, right? So self-doubt, burnout, maybe even feeling isolated. So maybe some of you here are solopreneurs and you're feeling like you're hustling really hard without a lot of payoff. Or maybe you're a business owner who's experienced a setback, or maybe a dip in sales, or a lost client, or a failed launch. And I say failed in quotation marks because we never truly fail, right? I believe in failing forward, or, and I don't even like to call it failing because it's like, it's practice, right? It's like getting reps in. We learn something from each thing that doesn't turn out the way that we expected, right? So I also feel like there could be some of you here who are underpricing your services or undervaluing yourself because of a fear of rejection. I think that this card isn't just about external lack, but it's about perception, right? So maybe some of you here are not seeing the resources or the support that's available to you because you feel like you're in just this deep survival mode, right? And if you are feeling that way, I just want to send some love to you because I absolutely know how you feel, and it's a really tough feeling, and the fact that you're here and you're persevering and you haven't given up, and you wake up every day and you decide differently for yourself is a really big deal, and takes an immense amount of strength and resilience, right? So this might be your reminder to be proud of yourself. I know it's hard to hear that when you're like going through a hard time too, but just know that you are a lot more resilient than you give yourself credit for, pile 1. We also have Tejas, and so with this one is an Ayurvedic card, and it talks about inner strength, it talks about passion, it talks about creative energy, even if it's buried right now. So Tejas reminds you that you do have the spark, but it may be dimmed by whatever current challenges that you're going through. So pile 1, I feel like many of you here are entrepreneurs with a deep potential and a burning vision, and maybe you feel like you're currently navigating your winter season, right? And I feel like this is the phase that's refining your resilience, and you're not meant to quit. You're meant to reclaim your fire and align it with practical strategies, right? So what's coming next, right? What's the shift, the opportunity, the next chapter for you? We have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So I wonder if some of you here are taking a pause to do a reevaluation. Maybe you've been waiting for something to click or take off, and maybe you feel like it just hasn't yet. So this is the card that asks you to shift your perspective and possibly pivot your approach in some way. So maybe some of you here have been investing in a product or a service or waiting for traction that isn't coming, right? Or maybe you're planning a launch or expansion, but something is off or the timing isn't right. Or maybe some of you here are holding yourself back because you have this fear of the unknown, right? Or maybe you're having a hard time with trusting your big vision. I just feel like some of you here have outgrown your original plan, or maybe some of you here need to be a little bit more objective about what's working and what's not, right? Like removing the emotional part out of it, which is interesting because we have full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius is the master of this, right? This one says be real. So I feel like this demands a reality check, right? It demands like an authentic look at truly like what's going on. Like maybe this is you objectively looking at the numbers or your profit and loss or whatever it is, right? But Aquarius asks us to disrupt patterns, to think outside of the box, you know, to be brave enough to show up exactly as you are. So maybe some of you here will rewrite your business model to match your true values. Or maybe some of you here are going to be cutting ties with inauthentic marketing tactics. Or maybe some of you here are going to be speaking more openly about your process or your challenges or your mission. I just think that this next chapter is about realignment. It's not about charging ahead blindly. It's about refining your vision to match who you really are. So think leaner, more true, more connected, right? So let's get some advice, right? We have the Eight of Wands here. And with the Eight of Wands, this can talk about delays or miscommunication or the need to pause, right? So maybe you've been trying to do too much at once, or you've been rushing toward an outcome. And so the message here is to slow down, focus, right? Don't skip the foundation. So for example, if instead of launching 3 things at once, maybe focus on one and refine it. You might be burning out to try to keep up with trends instead of building your own rhythm. So you know, maybe like emails or offers or collaborations may be getting lost in the translation, right? So maybe some of you here want to tighten your message a bit. I just feel like this is a call for like deliberate communication, strategy, and pacing. We also have clarity, and this one says carrot, and this is Virgo energy. So I feel like this represents having that grounded insight, having that vision, having that direction. I also think it's about seeing clearly about what needs to be done next, and it's about acting with intention. So, you know, maybe some actionable guidance here is to revisit your messaging, right? Is it clear? Is it aligned with who you are? I think it's also time for you to simplify your offer suite or your workflow. So maybe you want to streamline your back-end systems or your client process. I also think that it would be important for you to create space for deep thinking, right? So maybe carve out some time to journal or vision board or consult with a mentor, right? I feel like these are the things that could help. I think that you're just being asked to pause the hustle, right? To clear the clutter and to really zoom in. I think that you don't need to do more. You just need to do the right things in the right way, right? So you focusing creates more momentum for you. So let's talk about any additional insights that you might need to know. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse here. So I don't know if any of you here are feeling like disharmony in a collaboration, or maybe like a lack of support structure. Maybe you're trying to do everything yourself, or, you know, maybe it feels like whatever you're communicating isn't like effectively reaching like your team or your audience, right? So I don't know if some of you here have had rocky experiences with collaborators or other people in your space, or assistants or contractors or whatever it is, right? Maybe some of you here feel like you're shouting into the void online. Right? Maybe some of you feel like you're not getting a lot of feedback or a lot of engagement. And I wonder if some of you here feel like you have difficulty trusting others to help you build. So I'm curious, pile one, do you believe that your work deserves to be seen and, you know, deserves to be valued by others? We also have forward thinking. This one says Capricorn spirit, and it says a raven hides its food cache. A raven is one of the few animals that demonstrates the capacity for delayed gratification. There is a benefit to thinking about what you may need or want in the future. This is your gentle reminder to plan ahead. Interesting. So Capricorn energy to me talks about long-term vision and strategy and discipline and patience, I think it tells you not to just build for right now, but for legacy, right? So this is the CEO energy card. So a couple things you can do here, pile one, is to either rebuild or reimagine your team dynamics, right? Get clear on who you need or who you don't need. I think it would be also really important for you to consider automating, maybe delegating or restructuring to support your long-term goals. And it's another call for you to be ambitious, but set achievable benchmarks, right? So start building systems, not just hustling projects. I think this is a great time for you to shift from scrambling solo to being an intentional architect of your empire. So even if you're starting small, just think sustainably, right? So align your business with your highest standards and your ambitions, and trust that the right collaborators will come once you're clear on what you're building. Get some tea leaf fortune cards. I feel like I haven't pulled these in a long time on my channel, so let's get some more information for you. We've got eagle, triumph over troubles, obstacles. What else does pile one need to know? With coins, money will be coming to you. Have finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. We have ear, good news. I like that. I like that we had like a good spirit confirmation right when I said good news, and then the alarm started going off. So you really want to pay attention to any good news coming your way, pile one. We also have tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. Ooh, okay, except when he fell on the floor. Crib, birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. Work, achievement, success, and then let's get one more. Ooh, okay. Wheel, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Okay, interesting. So I feel like this can talk about what we were speaking about earlier, about getting clear, right? Having a clear direction instead of feeling like you're not behind the wheel of your own life, right? Like you feel like you're not in control, or like maybe you feel scattered, or like you're being pulled in many different directions. So I think that this reconfirms what we spoke about in terms of you getting really clear, getting really grounded, and getting really intentional about where you're going next, right? So I also think that this is your sign that these hard times that you're going through, they're not going to last forever, right? We have coins, money will be coming to you. We have crib, birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. So a lot of good things coming your way. Good news. You're going to triumph over troubles, obstacles, you know, all of your work, all of your achievement, all of your success. It's going to be noticed, right? It's going to come for you. It's going to not come for you. It's going to come to you. And this might be you taking a new chance, right? Starting something new, doing something risky, right? And I think that any challenge that you've been through, right? Any sort of financial challenge or business challenge or what collaboration challenge, I feel like it's taught you a lot of things, right? It's taught you to like look at the red flags, so the next time anything comes up, you can warn yourself of a problem that, you know, or something that may turn into a problem later. So I think that you have a lot of wisdom as a result of what you've been through. And yeah, let's also roll some astro dice to get more information. What else does pile one need to know? What's next for their business? Okay, so we have the sun in Cancer in the first house. Ooh, okay. So this is the energy that I was feeling from the start, pile one. With sun and Cancer in the first house here, this is all about a very powerful personal rebrand and a visibility boost. So I feel like your business is entering a phase where your identity becomes your brand, right? So this is your time to show your true self, show up authentically, right? Because that emotional intelligence and that nurturing leadership, that intuitive decision making will draw people in. So focus on building trust, right? Building a community and building a strong personal presence, especially if you're online or in a very client-facing role, because I really do think that your story is going to be your strategy. So Thank you so much, Pile 1. I hope that this reading was fun. Please give it a like if you resonated with the message here. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below with what pile you chose or what came up for you. I love to talk with you all in the comments. Thank you. Please take care of yourself. If you feel called to check out my channel, Title Tarot, I've got a bunch of other readings for you to explore. If you feel called to check out my podcast or my online shop, I have those linked for you in the description. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am running a 50% off sale at the time of this reading. I am closing my e-commerce shop, and you can visit my community tab for more info on that if you are curious. And yeah, just sending you a lot of love, friends. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you later. Take care. Love y'all. Bye. Hey friends, welcome to your reading. So let's first talk about your entrepreneurial archetype. So who are you and where are you at, right? So let's talk about your current role or vibe or what kind of business you run. This will also be something that you can use to confirm whether this pile is for you or not. If it doesn't sound like you might want to check out another pile. Okay, so the first card that we have here is the King of Cups. So I feel like some of you here are currently operating from this very deeply emotionally intelligent, calm, and compassionate space in your business. So the King of Cups is a master of emotional regulation, right? So they don't lead through force or ego. Rather, they lead through things like empathy and having diplomacy and, steady insight. Some of you here may be a coach. Some of you here may be a healer. Some of you here may be a creative or service-based entrepreneur who deals with emotionally sensitive subjects, right? So maybe some of you here talk about relationships or wellness or transformation or storytelling. I feel like your clients trust you deeply, right? And you're seen as someone who provides this safe, supportive guidance, whether this is through therapeutic service or intuitive readings or heart-centered content or creative expression. I really do feel like you're that go-to person for whatever community or whatever you're doing. I also think that some of you here might be dealing with some high stakes or emotionally charged business decisions with grace. So I think that some of you here manage a team, or you have to navigate partnerships, or maybe some of you here are launching something vulnerable but very meaningful. We also have Budai, and so with this, I feel like it reinforces the idea that you're operating from a space of inner wisdom and soul intelligence and intuitive clarity. Budai is not a reactive thought, but it's this serene clarity that arises when the mind is stilled, right? And it's when it's connected to truth. So I think that you might be the type of entrepreneur who meditates or consults inner guidance before making business decisions. And I wonder if your brand might integrate spiritual or contemplative practices, right? So yoga or breath work or mindfulness or astrology or, some sort of intuitive strategy. I just think that pile 2, you're not just chasing quick wins, but you're asking the deeper questions. You're asking what is aligned? What legacy do I want to build, right? So let's talk about what's coming next, right? So what's the shift? What's the opportunity? What's the next chapter for you? We have the Tower in reverse here. So this can represent going through a powerful change, right? But I feel like this kind of change is internal or strategic, right? So this suggests that a very powerful change is on the horizon, pile 2, but it's likely an internal or strategic or a slow burning one rather than this very dramatic public change, right? So when the Tower is reversed, it can talk about a breakdown of outdated structures, but in a way that offers more control and more foresight than the upright Tower. So for example, if maybe some of you here will have a shift in your business model, like maybe some of you here are coaches, right? And you want to phase out one-to-one coaching and you want to move into scalable offers like courses or books or digital products. I also feel like you might be rethinking your brand or your pricing or your marketing, and not because things are failing, but because they no longer feel aligned. I also feel like this could represent like some sort of wake-up call that nudges you to release control and really trust this deeper transformation that's happening for you behind the scenes. We have full moon in Capricorn. This one says take a reality check. So Capricorn is all about long-term goals. Capricorn is all about structure and discipline and legacy. And so the full moon brings things like illumination, right? It can bring you a lot of insight. And so I'm curious, like, are you building something sustainable, or are you burning out chasing the wrong version of success, right? So some examples here are overextending yourself to meet unrealistic deadlines, or placing too much value on external validation like money or likes or followers, right? This is a call to look at your business foundations and ask yourself, are they strong? Do they align with your long-term goals? You might feel an urge to like simplify or create systems or outsource. Some of you here may also receive feedback that challenges your current vision, and it could be a call for you to like listen, right? Take those insights. So let's talk about any sort of advice here for you, right? We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And so when this card is in reverse, it can talk about impatience or misaligned investments or burnout. And so maybe some of you here are pouring time and money and energy into something that's no longer yielding you results, right? Or maybe it's simply not worth the emotional toll. So what can you do here? You can kind of reassess what's working in your business, what feels heavy, what feels stagnant, what feels unfulfilling. I also feel like it's important for you to focus on ROI, right? So your return on investment, and not just financially, but emotionally and energetically. This is something that I've had to do with my business. Like I mentioned earlier in the reading, or like I mentioned earlier in the video, I am actually in the process of releasing a certain sector of my business. I am actually closing my e-commerce shop, and when I started to feel like I didn't have the same amount of time that I could invest into my shop as I've been doing with the channel, as I've been doing with the podcast, and so many other things as a busy mom, I just realized that it wasn't working for me, right? And like, I wouldn't say by like it wasn't really a financial thing. It's more of like an emotional and energetic thing. When I pour myself into something, I want to give it my all, right? And so when I realized, when I got that clarity that like something needed to change, I made a quick shift and it felt right, So it's like when you make the right decision for yourself, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel grounding. So yes. And shameless plug for those of you who are interested in getting your hands on any of the crystals that you see here today. I also have some jewelry in my online shop. If you feel called, I'm running a 50% off sale. So have at it. There's no code or anything. It's just automatically applied at checkout. So yes, but I'm just wondering if for some of you here, back to the reading, if you feel like pulling the plug on like vanity projects or perfectionism or any sort of efforts that feel misaligned. So for those of you who, like for example, right, like maybe some of you are spending weeks on social media content that isn't bringing in clients, right? Maybe it's time to pivot to email or SEO or in-person connection, or maybe a high ticket offer feels draining, and even if it's profitable, maybe you want to consider adjusting your boundaries or pricing structure. I just feel like this is the card that reminds us to rest before planting again. We also have Tranquility. This one says Violet. So this is, let's see, this is Pisces energy. Yeah. So this is Pisces energy. And with this one, I feel like it reinforces that idea that peace and inner calm are your greatest business assets right now. Violet is a color of spiritual insight and mental clarity. So a couple different things to do here, a couple different actions you can take is to light a candle, right? Meditate, journal before making big decisions. Take time to go inward, take time to go within, take time to introspect, take time to reflect. Maybe some of you here want to do a digital detox or a work sabbatical if burnout is creeping in. I think it'd be really important to redesign your workflow to create more space for your creativity and your rest and your joy. So examples here could be like restructuring your week to allow for deep work days versus client-facing days, moving away from hustle culture and redefining success around ease and alignment and authenticity, or incorporating wellness practices into your business identity, right? Invite your audience into your world of calm leadership. Let's dive into any additional insights now. So we have the Devil in reverse here, and I promise this card is not as scary as the picture makes it look. But this is a really powerful sign of liberation, right? Of freedom. You're breaking free from toxic cycles and attachments and self-sabotage. When the Devil is in reverse, it can relate to money patterns or workaholism or people-pleasing or old definitions of success, right? Examples here could be like letting go of needing to prove yourself through overworking. Or maybe you want to end a codependent collaboration or a partnership that really is draining your energy. Or maybe you want to shift from scarcity to abundance in your pricing and your marketing and your client relationships. We also have attentiveness here. This one says Virgo, and it says searching for gemstones in the dirt. I keep hearing the word prospecting. I don't know if that would be significant to some of you. But this one says it's time to look very closely at what's right in front of you. Is there something you're missing? Can the power of your attention turn a negative into a positive? An optimistic mindset might help you see what's possible. Okay, so the sign of Virgo can speak to discernment and devotion and being of intentional service. So I do think that pile 2, you are being asked to zoom in on the small, meaningful ideas that matter and to create some sort of sacred structure around this. So some practical steps that you could take here is audit your workflows, right? Audit your client journey or your email systems. How can you serve with more clarity and more care? Maybe it's time to revisit your mission statement and your offerings. Are they aligned with your true purpose? This is your call to not get lost in perfectionism, right? But do pay attention to what's calling you for refinement. So let's roll. Let's get some tea leaf fortune cards to get any additional information. So you have leg, stepping into a new experience. Love that. I feel like that's so much of what we spoke about already. We have vine, seek out information that will help you. We have elephant, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. You have crown, honor and respect will come to you. You have ladder, climbing towards success. Dogs, getting together with friends. Kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. We also have casket. This one is someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. I have one more thing. We have dark man, dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. So yes, I definitely think that like you're leaving what no longer serves you in the past and you're stepping into something new, right? Something a lot more aligned with where you want to go. And we also have a long journey, either physical or mental, that will leave you wiser at the end. So it's like everything that you went through, pile 2, wasn't in vain. It taught you what you needed to know, right? If you've been going through any sort of unsettled times, it's time to plan ahead, right? It's time to bring that attentiveness that we spoke about with Virgo earlier. Especially if you're planning on like releasing a chapter, ending something specifically, right? I think it would be important to like plan ahead or to seek out information that will help you, right? Maybe speak to somebody else who has shut down a sector of their business, or, you know, somebody who's left one industry to move into another. All in all, I think that no matter what, you're climbing towards success, pile 2. Honor and respect will come to you. You will have that prestige and that honor and that visibility that you've been looking for. I think that even like, I just feel like the work that you do, it feels like very enjoyable. Like your clients feel like friends. They feel like family, right? I also feel like you're very like, you're gonna foster a very loyal community, right? Remember how I said you're like that go-to person? You're somebody that like other people want to rely on. And then this is just a side note. I don't know if a dark man, dealings relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. I don't know if that's relevant for some of you. Take it or leave it, depending on what resonates with you. But let's roll some astro dice to get more information. So what's next? What's next for pile 2's business? So we have Mercury in Virgo. I love that we have another Virgo. So we've got double Virgo here. And then in the 5th house. So Mercury and Virgo in the 5th house. So what's next for you, pile 2? I feel like it's all about strategic creativity and refined communication. So with Mercury and Virgo in the 5th house, I feel like your business is entering a phase where detailed planning meets inspired expression, right? So I feel like you can expect success to come through things like clear messaging that shows off your skill, organized creative projects, right? Think content, products, branding. And then I also feel like this is you doing some smart risk taking. So that analytical mind that supports bold moves, I would lean into that. Stay precise, playful, and stay consistent. I really do feel like your ideas will shine when they're structured. So Thank you so much, Pile 2. I hope that this reading resonates with you. Please give it a like if it did. Comment below with what came up for you or what pile you chose. I love to talk with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Check out my channel, Title Tarot, if you are interested. I've got a bunch of other pick-a-card readings for you to explore. And if you feel called to check out my podcast or my online shop, I have that linked for you in the description. I am running a 50% off sale on my online shop. During the time of this reading, I am actually closing down my e-commerce business. So no code is needed. 50% off of your whole order is applied at checkout automatically. Thank you so much, Pile 2. Have a beautiful day. Love y'all, friends. Take care. Bye. Let's first talk about your entrepreneurial energy. So who are you and where are you at and what's your current role or vibe and what kind of business do you run? I like to use this as a way for you to confirm whether this pile is for you or not. So if it doesn't sound like you, then you might want to choose a different pile. But let's dive in. So your entrepreneurial archetype. We have the world in reverse here. So it's like this vibe of being almost there, but not quite. So I don't know if some of you here are business owners or visionaries who have put in a lot of effort, right? I'm talking about immense effort. But there's this sense of unfinished business or a lack of feeling fully integrated. So maybe some of you here have launched a product or a service that didn't reach its full potential due to timing or structure or marketing. You could be also cycling through a pattern where you're almost ready to level up, but something, whether that's like fear or doubt or logistics, keeps holding you back. Maybe you're managing several moving parts of a business, but you haven't fully claimed your role as a CEO or a brand leader. Pile 3, you are a bridge builder. You're someone connecting multiple stages of growth, but maybe you feel stuck mid-transition, right? So I feel like you have global level potential, but there may still be some sort of like playing small or spreading yourself or your energy too thin, you know? We also have Satya. This one is a vibe of like radical honesty. So this card asks us, are you truly being yourself in your business? Or are you running a version of your business that's filtered through other people's expectations or market pressures or fear? So maybe some of you here feel like you are hiding your more spiritual, intuitive, or creative gifts behind a more palatable business front. Or maybe some of you here have outgrown your brand identity or the niche that you started in and you haven't yet pivoted. I just feel like either way, there's some sort of truth that's emerging, right? Perhaps about what success means to you now. And I feel like this is something that's going to demand you to realign your messaging or your offerings. So there's definitely this like powerful story of like near completion with these two cards. I feel like you're on the threshold of the next level, but you need to get honest about what you want and allow your business to evolve accordingly. So what's coming next, right? What is the shift? What is the opportunity? What is the next chapter for you? We have the 3 of Cups here. And with this represents things like celebration and collaboration and community support. I really do feel like your next chapter is all about being deeply relational. It involves working with others. It involves celebrating wins. What's coming next for you, Pile 3, right? What is the shift? What is the opportunity? What is the next chapter for you? We have the 3 of Cups here. And so with this, it's all about celebration. It's all about collaboration. It's all about community support. So your next chapter is deeply relational, Pile 3. I feel like it involves working with other people. It involves celebrating wins. It involves receiving support. So some specific examples here, Pile 3. Maybe some of you here are launching a group program or a retreat or some sort of collaborative offer. Maybe some of you here are reconnecting with your business besties, or you're finding a mastermind or an aligned community. Or maybe for some of you here, a project that you've worked on, right, maybe in silence even, is about to be recognized or celebrated publicly. This is definitely not a solo season, right? So let joy and friendship and feminine energy fuel your business. We also have the last quarter moon in Aries. This one says work through your feelings. So this is all about taking a pause and like getting clear before you leap. You're being called to emotionally process any sort of frustration or burnout or impatience that may be lingering from the past business cycle. So some examples here. Maybe some of you have experienced a launch that flopped, or a team issue, or financial stress. So before you fully step into celebration, maybe you have to feel and release that frustration, right? This is the card that invites emotional embodiment, moving feelings through things like breath work or movement or therapy or journaling. Because together with the Three of Cups, there's this major emotional breakthrough that's coming, and it's opening the doors to deeper connections and more joyful success for you. So this is your call to not bypass the real raw stuff, right? Let's talk about what you need to do, some advice here, right? Some guidance. We have the King of Pentacles. So this is like big time CEO energy, stability, legacy. It's time to act like the grounded, successful, long game visionary that you are, pile 3. So maybe some of you here want to set up a financial system or hire support or build an offer that creates recurring revenue for you. This is your time to show up as the expert, pile 3. Don't be afraid to charge more or to maybe create a more premium offer. Maybe consider how your work can leave a lasting impact, right? Think mentorship or building assets or creating some sort of long-term value, right? There's a mindset shift here. It's time to stop hustling like a freelancer and start thinking like a wealth-building entrepreneur. This is you making decisions with the energy of this is my empire, right? We also have victory here. This one says nasturtium, and this is Aries energy. And you have a crown. So again, it's like I look at like repeating symbols and things, and so you've got like double crown here. I feel like prestige, being recognized, being valued for your contributions, right? Building a true legacy. This is all about you succeeding, right? But this is your reminder to start acting like it too. Because I feel like this card reinforces the King of Pentacles. Success is here for the taking, but it's not passive, right? It's something that requires courage and strategy and a clear sense of purpose. So you might be one bold offer or one email or one pitch away from a major win, pile 3. It's time to start positioning yourself as the leader in your field, even if the imposter syndrome whispers otherwise. And this is what's going to magnetize new levels of success for you, pile 3. So take a stand, name your value, and move with pride. Because I feel like together these cards are saying to show up like it's already working, right? Anchor into your value and play the long game. So any additional insights here? We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. This is all about letting it go, right? This card screams release the scarcity mindset. Whether it's hoarding time or money or energy, it's time to open your hands and flow. Maybe you're holding back investing in something you know would grow your business. Or some of you here could be clinging to an old offer or identity or client base out of fear, even though you've outgrown it. Or maybe some of you here want to like consider reverse budgeting, right? Consider where spending, in time or energy or in money could be a form of circulation. Letting go leads to receiving, right? So we also have beginnings. This one says Aries spirit, and it says strike iron and flint to make fire. I love that. I keep hearing like strike when the iron's hot, like you're almost there, pile 3. Go for it. The spark of your fire is your life force. It lives within you. All you must do is claim it. Say yes to a new direction and trust that you have the energy to make a fresh start. Oh, I love this. Okay, so this is giving like new brand launch or, you doing like a pivot in your niche or having a totally new offer in some way. Some of you here might be starting a podcast or a YouTube channel or something else that really puts you front and center. I think that rebranding or reintroducing yourself to your audience with your truth intact. Remember what we spoke about with Satya? And with the Four of Pentacles in reverse in mind, I think in order to step into this new beginning, you've got to let go of the past, right? You've got to shed the past. There's no room for hesitation when your soul is asking you to ignite something, right? It's time to put the keys in the ignition and go. So I really do think that pile 3, you are in the midst of a very powerful transition, not just in your business, but in your identity. So this is the moment where you drop the mask, you release the fear, and you let yourself be seen and celebrated. This is you stepping into your CEO energy. This is you going boldly toward your next chapter, right? Beginnings and victory. So pile 3, where are you not being fully honest with yourself in your business, right? What truth is ready to be revealed or expressed? What would you do differently if you already believe that you were successful? What are you holding on to that no longer serves your growth, right? So let's also get some tea leaf fortune cards. Let's get any additional information for pile 3. What else does pile 3 need to know? So we have hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. We have apple, temptation will test you. Rat, someone working against you or behind your back. We have fan, romance, celebration, party. Wind chime, peace and harmony. We have axe, fly, oops, hang on. Okay, hang on. We have axe, forces working against you. We have fly, a period of ill health, depression. We have tower, solid foundation, success with effort. Bread, period of prosperity and abundance. Horse, short journey. And then tortoise, we have slowly but surely getting ahead. Okay, so with these cards, pile 3, I feel like a lot of this speaks to either like any sort of struggles or trials or tribulations that you've either already been through, or maybe some of you are currently going through. Maybe some of you here feel like you've been through that period of like that down period, that period of ill health, whether that be in the business or, you know, within yourself. Maybe you just weren't feeling your best. Maybe a lot of you here are struggling with depression or have struggled with depression in the past. I'm hearing cycles too, like cycles of depression. We also have rat. This one says someone working against you or behind your back, and forces working against you. So I really do feel like there's just been, and especially when we have hand, in need of help, assistance, or guidance, I feel like maybe a lot of you here weren't feeling like you've been very supported, right? No matter what it is, like whether your personal life or your professional life, I feel like you haven't been maybe you really haven't been supported in the past, right? Just know that this is not going to last forever, right? Short journey. You are actually on the way to a period of prosperity and abundance, right? Because you've put in the effort. Slow and steady wins the race. You have a solid foundation, and you will see success with effort, right? It's a what's that called? It's non-negotiable. That's what you're headed towards. We have peace and harmony. So I definitely think times are going to be feeling a lot more peaceful, a lot more harmonious, a lot more in flow. You're definitely going to have something to celebrate, right? I do think that you're going to be celebrating your success in some way, romance, celebration, party. I also think that like you will have many fans. I know that sounds interesting, but that's just what keeps coming up. You're going to have many fans. And with this, I think that sometimes there's like flies and rats, right? It's like you can't invite everyone in. Sometimes you have to use your discernment, but I just think that you're headed towards better times, right? You've been through a lot, pile 3, and you are headed towards something more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. So yes, let's also roll some astro dice. Let's find out what's next for pile 3's business. So pile 3, what's next for you? I think it's all about releasing codependency in partnerships, right? As an entrepreneur with the South Node in Libra in the 7th house, your growth is going to come from stepping away from things like people pleasing or over negotiating or relying too much on others. I really do feel like you're being called to embrace bold, independent action, right? Like North Node and Aries in the 1st house energy. It's time for you to trust your instincts. It's time for you to lead decisively. It's time for you to carve your own path, right? And I think that's pretty cool because we had Aries energy that we spoke about earlier too. So yes, pile 3, I hope that was so much fun. I hope you had a lovely time during this reading. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Please comment below and let me know what came up for you. What did you notice? You know, what resonates. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you. Please take care of yourself. Check out my channel, Title Tarot. I've got a bunch of other pick a card readings for you to explore. And if you feel called to check out my podcast or my online shop, I do have that linked for you in the description as well. I am running a 50% off sale for my online shop where I'm actually closing my shop. So there's no code needed. You get 50% off of your whole cart at checkout. It's automatically applied. And so have fun with it. If you feel called, again, link is in the description. So take care of yourself, friends. I will see you on the next video. And I just appreciate you being here. Love y'all. Bye. Hey, Pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's first talk about your entrepreneurial archetype. Let's talk about who you are and where you're at. Let's talk about your current role or vibe and what sort of business you run. I like to use this as a way to confirm whether this pile is for you or not. And so if it doesn't sound like you or your business, you might want to choose another pile. So the first card that we have here is the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So pile 4, I feel like you as an entrepreneur are maybe struggling with like juggling too much or struggling to keep all of the moving pieces of your business in sync. Maybe some of you here feel a bit overcommitted. Maybe you feel burnt out. Maybe you feel like there are certain areas of the business that feel inefficient. And there's a sense that you've been trying to do it all without enough support or systems in place. So, for example, you might be simultaneously launching new offerings, managing client work, handling finances, and doing marketing, but none of it feels cohesive or sustainable right now. So the business vibe here is like a very heart-centered, multifaceted business that's rich in potential, but maybe it's currently disorganized or it's lacking clarity in priorities. We also have karma. So with this card here, I feel like you're at a major turning point, right? Like a karmic checkpoint. And there's this call for evaluation, forgiveness of the self, right? Conscious choice making. And you've likely been facing patterns or challenges that keep resurfacing. Perhaps you've cycled through business models or team dynamics that reflect an unresolved internal conflict, like a fear of visibility or a tendency to overgive, right? Like this is the card that suggests that this is a rebirth moment for you, Pile 4. This is a chance for you to elevate your work by aligning it more deeply with your soul's purpose and the lessons that you've learned so far. So let's talk about what's coming next, right? What is the shift? What is the opportunity? What is this next chapter that's on the horizon for you? So we have the sun here, and this represents a powerful breakthrough, Pile 4. The sun is all about success. It's all about clarity. It's all about joy. It's all about visibility. It's definitely this moment that things start to make sense, right? Like your efforts finally start to bear fruit, especially when you lead from authenticity and you stay connected to your why. For some of you here, I feel like your why is like your children, your child. I don't know if some of you here are parents. An inner child too. This could be for your inner child as well. But I just feel like you're going to be stepping into a more visible role. Maybe you're going to be hosting a workshop or launching a really bold offer or rebranding or receiving public recognition in some way. I definitely feel like your business is entering a phase where confidence and clarity and personal magnetism will attract aligned clients for you and, opportunities and all of that. Now, we also have the full moon in Virgo. This one says take inspired action. So this aligns with detailed, grounded execution. Virgo energy supports anything to do with refinement and routines and discernment. So the full moon brings this like culmination and this readiness to act. So for example, if you feel called to revise your workflow or clean up your back-end systems or bring structure to your offerings, this could be your sign, right? So this is kind of like a cosmic green light to move forward, but not chaotically, right? So think precision and planning and aligned effort. Now, let's talk about some advice, right? What do you need to do? What do you need to embrace? Let's get some guidance for some aligned action and where to direct your energy and your resources. So we have the Four of Cups in reverse here. And, this person, they have like a jacket, says over it. They look a little dissatisfied. So I feel like this is the time to snap out of that like stagnant emotional state, whether that's boredom or apathy or focusing too much on what's missing. The Four of Cups in reverse says opportunities are present, but you must look up and say yes. So for example, maybe you've been resisting a pivot or a collaboration or a new offer because it feels unfamiliar. This card urges you to open your eyes to what's right in front of you, Pile 4. Right? So is there something that you're overlooking, right? Is there some sort of skill or talent or a piece of success that like you're overlooking, right? Because I'm really feeling the energy of like you making things easier for yourself, right? Like I was just actually talking to my husband, I think it was yesterday, about how like, okay, so for example, like a musical artist, I can't even think of one, like I don't even know what the accurate story was that I heard, but it was something along the lines of like, okay, I'm just gonna say it like, so Sir Mix-a-Lot, right? Like Baby Got Back. You would think that like that was his highest money making, highest grossing song, but it wasn't. It was some other song that like actually brings him all his royalties right now, and that's how he makes like his millions and all of that. Some other random song that like he overlooked, right? It's not one of his main bangers in his opinion. Now I don't know if that's a true story, but it's just an example of what I was sharing with my husband, and we're just talking about how sometimes it's not about like reinventing the wheel, right? It's like it's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Whatever it is that's working already, it's time to like acknowledge that, right? Is there something that's already working, or something that's already really easy for you or natural to you, that you could workshop and that could work in your favor, right? It's a way to like automate things and make them feel more efficient and more in flow, and like it's less struggle and hustle and all of that, right? It's about re-engaging emotionally with your business. Remember why you started and say yes to inspiration, even if it didn't come in the package that you expected. We also have regeneration. This one says Tarragon. This is Aries energy. I wonder if some of you here are going to be like doing some spell work on this. I'm feeling the need to say, like, for those of you who are going to be doing some spell work, put it on a red candle. Like, whether you use spell oils or herbs, or, you know, for all of you root workers out there as well, put it on a red candle, etch your intention in there, or put it on a piece of petition paper, and you can put it underneath the candle and light it. I'm not supposed to be telling you guys to set anything on fire, so don't do that. But you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Okay. So with tarragon, with regeneration, tarragon as an herb, it carries this message of renewal and resilience and energetic refreshment. It's time to shed your old skin, burnout, outdated offerings, unsupportive habits, and regenerate from within. So you might feel the call to take a short sabbatical, or rebrand, or declutter your digital space, right? Maybe it's time for you to release a program that you've outgrown. Pile 4, I was telling Pile 3 or Pile 2 that I'm actually releasing a part of my business. So I am closing down my e-commerce shop. And so I'll just shamelessly plug it right now. I'm offering a 50% off sale. There's no code needed. 50% off of your entire order. It's just automatically applied at checkout, and you can get your hands on any of the crystals that you see here today. I have more other varieties in the shop, and I have some jewelry that I still have in stock as well. So have fun with it. Sometimes you have to realize when it's time to let go of something, right? It's almost like that. I don't know if you've seen that show. What is it called? It's like with Marie Kondo. It's like the one where you're like getting rid of things and you're purging things. You're picking up an item in your house and you're like, does this spark joy or not, right? Or does this just collect dust and mildew in my closet for the last 7 years? But I might wear it one day, because one time I wore it in college and I think it was my lucky sweater because I got an A on a test that I took that day, right? Just joking. But like, right? Does this, like, maybe it's time for you to reevaluate in your business whether certain things spark joy. And so for me, I just knew that like it was time to pivot. It was time to move on. I love e-commerce. It's super fun. I had so much fun. Like, my husband and I had so much fun sourcing the products and, curating all the items that came into the shop, and hand wrapping and throwing extra goodies in there, for all the people who ordered. Thank you so much, by the way, for all of the people that have supported the shop. Can't thank you guys enough. But, instead of like me seeing me shutting down the shop as like a failed dream or like something that didn't work out, okay, like I can be objective and say, hey, maybe it didn't work out in the way that I thought it would, but I learned a lot of lessons, right? I learned a lot of valuable wisdom that could have only come through me trying to run an online business, right? I am releasing that part of my life so that I can make room for new things and new exciting things. So I'm going to be focusing my efforts on other things, like, creating channel memberships here where I can give you guys access to exclusive pick-a-card readings, member topics. Like, you guys would choose the topics. You guys could just put your questions in there. It's like you're getting like free readings on whatever topics you want, versus like just getting the general pick-a-card readings that the whole channel gets. So we'll have a lot of other fun things in channel memberships as well. I'm just trying to figure out whether I'm going to do a channel membership or Patreon. I think I'm going to do channel memberships, just because we're already here. So I just want to make it easy for everybody. But yes, back to what I was saying about releasing something that you've outgrown, right? Your body, your business, it needs nourishment. So infuse new life into your process. Maybe this is through things like creativity or spaciousness, or, taking intentional rest. There's something amazing on the horizon for you, but you need to take the time to refresh, renew, reset is what I'm hearing. So any additional insights here, pile 4? We have the Page of Swords, and with the Page of Swords, this represents you, right? And you are curious, sharp, observant. You know, this page invites you to study, ask questions, and stay mentally agile, right? Because there is this learning opportunity ahead, and whether this is through things like feedback or mentorship or trial and error, there's some sort of opportunity that's going to be huge, right? There's some sort of opportunity that's going to lead to this abundance, this success, right? This prestige. So maybe some of you here are going to be researching a new marketing strategy or taking a course, or maybe simply observing trends in your niche. This card also can talk about like watching your messaging, how you speak. I think the way that you market matters right now. So stay sharp, be inquisitive, but not reactive, right? We also have Chiron. This one says healing. And it says rolling out a red carpet over the mud. Sometimes old wounds become forgotten, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. Roll back the carpet and delve into the muck. Only by doing so can you heal and move forward. Interesting. Remember how we were talking about like reset, renew, kind of like give yourself time to like re-nourish yourself before you spring ahead, because whatever is next is like, boom, it's quick. It's like, you're going to have a lot of things to do, right? You're going to be so busy with your success. So take the time to heal what needs to be healed. Take the time to rest intentionally if you need to, right? This is something that adds this very soulful layer to everything, right? So maybe your healing is your brand. I think that you're being invited to lean into your core wound, and not as something to fix, not as something to like re-traumatize yourself, but as something to integrate and to lead from. So for example, if your business revolves around helping others with transformation or wellness, mindset, or authenticity, then your story is going to be a part of your medicine, right? So Chiron reminds you that your vulnerability is not a liability, right? It's a superpower. It's time for you to let your humanity shine in your content, in your offers, in your leadership. Pile 4, I just know that you're super resilient. I know that this is my pile of very multi-talented entrepreneurs who have reached a point where the old way of doing things no longer fits. Though the beginning of this spread shows like that imbalance and the karmic echoes of things, the road ahead is radiant, right? The sun is shining on you, and Virgo's grounded energy is supporting smart, inspired action, pile 4. So I feel like you know that your business is ready to evolve, but you need to slow down and regenerate and say yes to the opportunities that bring both healing and visibility. It's time for you to study your own patterns. It's time for you to be willing to upgrade your systems. Let your story and not your struggle guide your voice, right? Now, let's also get some tea leaf fortune cards, get more information on what's next for your business. My pile 4s. Okay, what's next? What else do you need to know? Pile 4. Okay, so we have needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted, basket, recognition, reward for merit. What else does pile 4 need to know? What else does pile 4 need to know? Oops. Okay. Oh, I love this. Okay. So we have needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted, basket, recognition, reward for merit, lion, it's time to act, dark woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. We have rainbow, the most difficult part of a situation is over, caterpillar, things will not always be this way, a change is coming, archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths are opening up, and we have horseshoe, good luck. Pile 4. Blessings on blessings on blessings. I keep hearing that song by Big Sean. The one that's like blessings on blessings on blessings. Something about the life being a lessons on lessons on lessons. Something like that is what I'm hearing. Maybe there's a message for you in that song. But I do feel like you are on the precipice of a lot of good luck, a lot of success, a lot of abundance, a lot of recognition. For those of you who are going through a period of like struggle or strife, or you're exhausted or burnt out, just know that things will not always be this way. A change is coming, right? Maybe the most difficult part of a situation is over. Healing, hope, new beginnings, joy, right? It's definitely time to keep taking action. It's Time to, of course, rest, take intentional time to rest, but then know when it's time to act, right? Act on your ideas, act on your joy, act on what brings you that fire and that passion, pile 4, because when you do what lights you up, it's just very magnetic. So, yes. Okay, let's roll some astro dice. Pile 4. What's next for your business? Okay, we have South Node in Cancer in the 8th house. So with the South Node in Cancer in the 8th house, pile 4, I feel like it's time for you to release old attachments, right? Release old emotional attachments. I feel like anything that's related to outdated business models or partnerships or financial dependencies, it's time to embrace transformation and rebirth. You're definitely being called to move out of comfort zones and evolve how you manage shared resources or investments or passive income streams, right? All 8th house themes. I think that this is also a reminder to let go of control through nurturing, right? Don't overprotect your creations, trust the flow. And your next move here is to step into your power by strategically collaborating or restructuring your finances for long-term growth. So thank you so much, pile 4. I hope that this reading was fun. I hope that this resonates with you. Please give it a like if it does. Comment below with what pile you chose, what came up for you. I love to talk with you all in the comments. If you feel called to check out my podcast or my online shop, I have those linked for you in the description. I am running a 50% off sale at the time of this reading. I am closing my e-commerce shop, so 50% off is automatically applied to your whole order at checkout. So enjoy if you feel called. Again, linked for you in the description. And if you feel called to check out my channel, Title Tarot, I've got a bunch of different pick a card readings for you to explore. So yes, if not this time, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Love you all, friends. Appreciate your support. Have a beautiful day. Bye.